Hi there, everybody. My name is Jackie, and if it's the first time you catching one of my videos, I am the adventurous mom. I have 4 kids, 3 little ones, and me and my family, we love to travel everywhere and share our experiences with all of you. And I love to share tips and tricks on traveling with kids, traveling on a budget, etc. So if you're interested in finding out more about me, you can always go to my website, theadventurousmom.net. Always remember the because there's other lovely adventurous moms out there. But it's theadventurousmom.net, or you can follow me on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/adventurousjackie, and Jackie is spelled Jacci. Okay, so this particular video isn't really going to be about, adventurous stuff like that and things that we like to do. I actually wanted to make a video about something a little bit more deeper than that. In this video, I'm going to outline some steps for you on how to manage your depression, and this is something that I'm currently going through and something that I'm battling with and something that I've always battled with all my life. Blogging and sharing the experiences about traveling and things that me and my family do and everything, it really goes much deeper than just on the surface of what it looks like, which is me just kind of like, look what all the things we do, blah blah blah, and it's really not bragging or anything like that. There's really a much deeper reason why I like to do this kind of stuff, and a lot of it has to do with managing depression. I've suffered with depression pretty much my entire life. It runs in my family, and then I had some pretty bad experiences growing up with losing my dad and losing my mom, and then not having much family around. My only sibling lives in Alaska, and you can't really get further away from that than California. So, I don't have a lot of really close family. I have cousins and aunts and stuff like that, and uncles that live, in Southern California, and I live in Northern California, but nobody that I can really go to their house in 30 minutes and hang out with them and spend time with them and go do things with them. And so that has an effect on it. Going through experiences like that has an effect on depression, and everybody has their own experiences in their own life stuff that they go through that triggers it. But I've been suffering it ever since I was little. So ever since I can remember, I've always had depression, and I didn't really know what it was until I was older, but there we go. And depression comes in all sorts of forms, like being irritable, and not really pinpointing why you're irritable. You're just irritable. And shaming yourself, anger, self-harm, sabotaging yourself and your efforts, being down on yourself a lot, not liking yourself. I mean, there's and just kind of like an overall sense of not feeling worthy or worth being here on this earth. I mean, that can even have an effect on you. I was also not raised with really any sort of routine. My mom wasn't very routine orientated, and she didn't implement that with me. And so I have a really hard time just managing life. So these are things that I struggle with. Life growing up just seemed to change all the time, and not really in a good way. And so sometimes in a good way, but not a lot. And so these are things that I struggle with, and I think a lot of people out there struggle with this kind of stuff too. So I just kind of wanted to create I created Adventurous Mom basically to share my experiences with getting out there. There's so much to life besides sitting behind a desk and just doing the daily grind every day and living in society. I mean, there's so much more to it. And when you struggle with depression, you really have to focus and kind of force yourself to get out there and do stuff and share and live your life to the fullest, because there you will find your happiness. And when you suffer from depression, you have a really hard time finding what your happiness is. And so those are some of the reasons why I do my Adventurous Mom blog. So I have notes, so I'm looking over them. So another thing, so what I did is I came up with a list of things that if you suffer from depression like I do, And these are not things that maybe you should do. I put a list together of things that you really have to do in order to manage your depression. Otherwise, you're just going to fall into a spiral, and it's just going to go round and round. You're going to run the same mountain over and over and over again, and you're never going to get anywhere. These are things that I've put together that you actually have to do. And I'm not 100% perfect with this. You know, I don't do these things 100% myself. But I've suffered with this long enough to know what works and to know what doesn't work. And once I share these, and I have to tell you that I also created a checklist and a recap of all of this. And I will share with you my personal routine that I've put together that I'm going to do myself every single day to manage my depression. And I'll go ahead and put the link in the comments below so you can get my routine and get my checklist if you think this is something that'll help you. So there's a list of 6 things here that I think are really important for people that suffer depression. So the first thing is eat well. Oh my gosh. Okay. Crappy foods, excuse my language, but crappy foods work against you. They do not work for you. And exercise. It makes you feel good. It keeps you energized. Get out of the mindset of getting thin and into the mindset of getting healthy. Eating well and exercise is a medicine for people who are trying to manage mental health issues. I cannot tell you how true this is. I can be on all the medication in the world. If I'm not eating right and I'm not exercising and I'm getting fatter and I feel down on myself, no medicine in the world is going to help me feel better with that. It's just not. Another thing is take a shower every day and try to look nice. Most people are like, well, of course, I do that all the time. Well, when you have really chronic depression, just doing the simplest things like that is like so hard and like a chore. Like, do I have to do this? Like, do I have to get up and take a shower? Do I have to just get nice and look ready and put makeup on and all that kind of stuff? You don't feel like doing it. You don't want to do it. You're depressed. You're like, why am I doing this anyway? Who am I doing this for? I mean, what the hey, you know? But on the other hand, when you do that, no matter how fat you think you are, no matter how ugly you think you are, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel better about how you go, throughout your day. You're not going to feel like you're slumming along. You know, these are things that, although seem simple, are really important for managing depression. Write in a journal. Write in a blog. Write down how you're feeling. Talk about how you're feeling. It's always and then while you're writing stuff down in a journal, you always want to include a plan of attack. Do not write down in a journal and just be negative Nancy about everything. You can be. Just write down everything you're feeling. If it's negative, if it's positive, whatever, fill everything down you're feeling. But always end it with, this is how I want to change this. And then when you do that, what it does is sometimes you'll start going off into a tangent about this is what I want to do and this is and then all of a sudden your mind shift will change into like, well, now all of a sudden I have hope for this that I was having a problem with. You know, it's all in your head and it's all about changing your mindset. Schedule your days. I am really big on routine. If I'm not in a routine, I am just down and out. If I don't feel like I am progressing or doing something good every day, or if I don't know what I'm going to do all day and I just do what I feel like doing, then I get in a slump. But if I do have a routine and I do what I know I have to do, eventually it becomes really easy and you work really well on a routine. At least I do when I get into a routine. And then another hard part is keep going. You know, sometimes you get into a routine, you're doing really, really well, and then that whole depression, self-sabotaging thing comes in, and then all of a sudden you're not doing it anymore, and then you have a really hard time picking yourself up because you're down on yourself. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. It's really important. Consistency is key. If you're not consistent, you're just gonna go in the same round. And I know this from personal experience. Don't think that I'm trying to put anybody down or anything like that. I do this. And I know that I shouldn't do this. And so, this is just something that I know it works. Getting yourself into a routine. And it also helps you with self-control. You want to learn self-control? Make yourself a daily list and follow it. You can't learn self-control unless you try to self-control yourself. You know what I mean? You can't just sit around and just pray and hope for self-control and not try to do anything about it. You know, it just doesn't work like that. You have to put action to it. And again, I'll be sharing my routine. That's all the 6 things. Eat well, exercise, get yourself dressed and put freaking makeup on, write in a journal and create a routine. And make sure that all those things that you need to do are in your routine, like eating well, exercising, taking a shower, putting makeup on, writing in your journal. You know, if you have a dream, if you have a job or a hobby or something, make sure to put that hobby in your routine every day and make sure you do it every day. Another good thing that I probably should add to this is surround yourself with people outside your close circle, at least once a day or once a week, I would say. You know, get yourself out there and just try to mingle with other people, because sometimes when you're depressed, you want to stay home, you don't want to see anybody, you're like, screw everybody, screw the world, I don't want to see anybody. And although I love people and I want to get out there and I want to be social, I just don't feel like it, you know. And so getting yourself out there at least once a week and meeting new people is very, very important as well. So anyways, that's it. Again, I'll include a link at the bottom of this video to link to you my personal to-do list, my personal checklist of things to do every day, and things and a recap of what I just talked about in a little bit more detail. So if there's something that you think would help you in your depression and to at least get started to going on to a life that makes you happier and to go on to a life that helps you manage it, I would recommend doing it. Just click on the link in the comments below and I'll go ahead and you put your email address in, and then it'll automatically email you a PDF file of everything we've talked about here and more. So again, I'm an adventurous mom, very excited. Love you all. I hope this helps somebody. Mwah!